Good morning, Thriving Warriors. Today is Saturday, April 15th, 2023. It's 6:14 in the morning. It's a pretty beautiful morning out here. The current temperature is 46. The range for today is 44 to 81. So the temperature is going up over a 37-degree temperature swing today. Kind of cool. Well, kind of warm, actually. So here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you along your journey to Successlandia. And it is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a journey. And the journey ends when your heart stops beating. Good morning, Charlene. Got guys that just can't get the simple things in life. Never before 6:25 and on weekends, not before 7. Okay, but here we are trying to do this thing. And people, okay, boom, here we are. Moving right along. So how do we help you on your journey? Well, we do it through a series of tips, tricks, supplies. Good morning, Diana, etc. This is the first one, this podcast, but down below in the description is the meat, is the gist, is the guts. It's where's the beef. It's down below. So that includes a link to our online course, our 4-week neuroscience-oriented approach to success, motivational video, Jordan Peterson, Daily Stoic, Seth Godin, David Goggins, Jack Rowland. Did I say Seth Godin? Probably Baraka Church, TED Talk. This is week 3, day 6 on our 4-week rotating course. And then the services we provide our members, which includes housing, clothing, food, hygiene, transportation, skills training, foundational employment, and career plan. All of that contained in this thing. Most of it's down below. So please subscribe, click on the bell, share, thumbs up, you know the thing. Let's get ready to start. So the first thing we do, coffee, but I am again having water based on Professor Huberman's thing of let the adenosine out of your system for the first 90 minutes or so. Don't use coffee, use sunlight, and not caffeine. So I'm having hot water, and then we have our pen and our book, because the goal is to learn it, not just to watch the video. Our brains are not designed to just remember large quantities of information, only things that we repeat often or they have emotional impact. Okay, so moving right along, our theme of today, next breadcrumb, theme of today. Just a simple little simple little marker buoy out there to help along the way. You want to get from point A to point B. It's simple. The journey is the way. Marcus Aurelius said the obstacle is the way, but the journey is the way, because the journey is the obstacle. It's the lifelong adventure punctuated by periods of boredom, frustration, ennui, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Make it the best journey possible. Next, our attitude of gratitude. Write down in your book, I'm so grateful and happy now that what? Well, it's Saturday. We're here together once again, going to Tonopah, to the jail. Hopefully I'll see Jeannie. If Jeannie watches this, there could be a wrinkle, and that is that Nye Community Coalition may be going with me today. We may be traveling together, them to do their thing, me to do our thing. And if so, then I'm kind of obligated to have lunch with them. So I will try to reach out to you about that though. Okay. All righty then, next. TED Talk, Jerry Maguire. So at this point, we know it's about the story before the story. So Jerry Maguire gives an illustration with the fish of how to not do it, how to fail in getting people on board. But it's a perfect example of what he's trying to do, is get people to to get on his boat, to be part of his journey, and he just makes a shambles of it. He's totally uncompelling, doesn't lay it out properly. And the story before the story is about the fish. It kind of comes from desperation. That's not what to do, but you can see in it what you should do. So tell a compelling story, find part of the status quo to change, check, he did that. Tell a compelling story, not really, because he came from desperation. Did he connect the true believers and ignore the non-true believers? Yeah, he did do that. He got Dorothy, and then he said, let's go. Didn't talk about what they're doing or why they're doing it. The compelling story, the problem was he was coming from desperation. But more important than that, the story before the story, the David Phillips part of the equation, he did not do. He talked about Flipper and the fish, and they're going with him. And that got people to not do it. But he also had to overcome the status quo, the enemy. Status quo, the thing that wasn't working, he had to overcome that. So, good lesson in what not to do. Next, Seth Godin. All righty then, Seth Godin, the explosion. We spend much of our worrying time on crisis. Our media is filled with warnings, coverage, and fear of cataclysms, the big boom, the sudden end, the crash. In fact, rot is far more common. Entropy. Things decay unless we persistently work to support them. Organizations, reputations, systems, health, investment, even our teeth. For every hockey player who's lost a tooth in a game, there are 1 million people who lost one over time. Fear the rot, not the explosions. No, fear the rot. The explosions are merely a distraction. Fear the rot. Good one, Seth Godin. Thank you. And we will go to our Aesop's Fable. This is kind of an outside of the typical Aesop's Fable one. It doesn't really seem to fit the other ones. The dogs and the hides. Some hungry dogs saw a number of hides at the bottom of a stream where the tanner had put them to soak. A fine hide makes an excellent meal for a hungry dog, but the water was deep and the dogs could not reach the hides from the bank. So they held a council and decided that the very best thing to do was to drink up the river. Right. All fell to lapping up the water as fast as they could, but though they drank and drank until one after another, all of them had burst with drinking, still, for all their effort, the water in the river remained as high as ever. Moral, do not do impossible things. Okay, so different time, different place. I think President Kennedy would have said it differently. We do them because they are hard, not because they're easy, but that's not impossible. Okay, I say to you, proper planning prevents piss poor performance. That's number one. So these dogs did not properly plan. Come on. Okay, guys, what do you think? Well, let's just drink up the water. Okay, not proper planning. 2, you can choose from this. If your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. So if the only thing they could do is reach in, try to grab it, now that doesn't work. Well, then we have to drink up the water. Okay, but that's a common thing for people. If your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Why? Because the only tool you have is a hammer. Sometimes you can't fix stupid. Okay, so these dogs were really dumb. These were dumb dogs. Not only did they not get that the volume of water is greater than the size of their stomachs, but they also didn't recognize that the water wasn't going down. I mean, that's why this is kind of outside of Aesop's fables. This is one that's kind of like jump the shark, and that it's not really believable, but that's what we're left with. So we'll move on, leave this one behind, move on to our prayer, making a difference. Grant, gentle Father, that your Spirit may give us the will and the courage to act to make a difference, in order to make real your kingdom among us, so that we may all live together in peace, truth, justice, and love, sharing the resources of the earth. Amen. Cool. All right, next, table. So where are we in this thing? Where are we here? Okay, so we've got 11 minutes, 42 seconds in. The people outside are pacing, even though it's 6:26. Someone has not communicated that weekends it's 7. Okay, just goes to show. Brain can't remember. Write things down. Put them on your phone. Okay, table. No, not table. Boat. Building a boat. The journey is the way. Building a boat to get us to Successlandia. Sails, rudder, below deck, hull. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All 4 have to go together. You can't have 3 of them and really have the most successful, magnificent journey possible. Can't have 3 of them. You need all 4. Next, Diana, you're up. You're up, Diana. Good morning, Edward. You're up. Next thing, yes, yesterday was the only easy day. You want to get from point A to point B, treat yesterday as the only easy day. Just a little bit more today. Just do a little bit more, get used to, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Don't feel that as soon as you get in the car, boom, I got to adjust the seat. I got to do the thing. Focus on not getting comfortable. Miss a meal. Wait 10 more minutes. Feel the hunger in you and notice if you just let it go, it'll go away. You don't have to constantly give in to our emotions. Help other people. Meaning and purpose. Act such that everything you do matters, and service to others. Be frugal. All right. Last breadcrumb. When is the journey over? The journey is over when we stop breathing. And thus, if you are still here, what does that mean, Charlene? If you're still here, if you're still alive, that means God isn't through with you yet. Now, that doesn't mean that God needs any one of us. God doesn't need us to do anything. As I'm reminded by the Jesuit, God doesn't need my help. True. But that doesn't mean I'm not part of a plan. And it doesn't mean I can work my way into heaven. It doesn't mean that either. So let's just focus on words said, not, well, I'm arguing about how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. So with that, Charlene has said, and cut. And the message is, and cut. So 6:29, somebody's calling me already wanting something at this time of the morning. But there we go.